Welcome to this episode of Implementing Best Practice in Business. We're here to help you and your organization understand and implement global best practice to help you face the business challenges of today. Join me, Richard Pharro, CEO of APMG International, in talking to leaders and practitioners who have applied these frameworks and practices to boost their productivity. They're here, willing to share their knowledge and experience to help you learn from them so you can do the same to make you more competitive in today's market. In this episode, we talk to Liz Herman, a technical communicator, collaborative manager, winner of the Service to Citizens Award, and a writing enthusiast. A champion of the industry, Liz lets us in on the appeal of working in technical communication and how she both derives and adds value through her work, where she translates important, complex information, making it accessible to the public and using her writing for good. The Guardian of Transactions, we delve into how Liz sees the relationship between AI intensifying and the role of the technical communicator. We'll ask Liz where young technical communicators should start in terms of their career and what they should aim for. We finish up by asking Liz to divulge her tips for improving writing for clarity. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you so much, Richard. It's wonderful to be here.
Could you tell me a little bit about the Citizens Award that you've got? Because I wasn't aware of it, and I wasn't aware that the US had such things. So what's the background to it? How are you nominated?
Yeah, thank you. Great question to start off with. I'm very honored to have received that award in 2020. It's really a culmination of the work that I've done for citizens across various industries here in the United States. You can be nominated for the award by an organization, by the federal government, by someone in industry who's recognized your work. And in my case, my organization nominated me for the award after I had done some specific knowledge management and change management work for the United States Department of Agriculture. And the award is meant to recognize people like me to serve the citizens and make sure that they have a great customer experience.
I mean, it really is a good thing when people are recognized by that. But if I understand correctly, you have a team of about 16 people, and your role is to produce quality communications. So how do you get 16 people to work collaboratively? How do you go about creating a high-quality communication?
We do have a lot of standards that we've developed to ensure that we're all moving in the same direction. So I do want to say that the standards and the policies and the procedures that we've established as a team has really helped us maintain quality communication. It's probably no surprise to hear from someone who comes from a technical background communication that we have a style guide. One of my favorite things. So we follow the style guide and we follow our company branding and our project branding to make sure that that is all consistent throughout our materials and our documentation. And then I think leadership has a lot to do with it. I mean, I hope that my team thinks that I'm a good leader. I like to have fun. I do follow the same principles that I expect my team to follow as far as following the standards and the policies and the procedures that we've set out for our team so that we can maintain quality communication.
And do you have a diverse team? I mean, you yourself have had a range of job titles in your career. Is there a particular grounding that makes a great technical communicator, or do people come from a wide range of backgrounds?
A wide range of backgrounds, which is why I love this industry so much. My team in particular is very diverse. We have individuals who have come from engineering backgrounds, computer science backgrounds, the traditional kind of writing background that I came from, an English major. We have some mathematicians on our team, some historians. I mean, we really have a diverse team. And I think what makes me happy about my team is that I think it's really representative of what you see in the technical communication community. People are coming from all different backgrounds and all different levels of experience.
I think in the UK we talk about you should write something so it can be understood by a 14-year-old having gone through standard education. Do you have a similar thing in mind when you write something that anyone that's been through standard school can understand it, or do you have it that they have to have a degree, or what is your measure of understandability, if that's the right word?
Yeah, that's That's a great question. It's I think in the US, what I have always kind of heard as the standard is a sixth grade writing to someone who's been through the sixth grade. So that was a long time ago for me, Richard. So I don't actually remember how old you are when you're in sixth grade, but it might be close to 14, similar to the UK. So sixth grade. What's interesting is I have always worked in a situation where I have had to take very complex federal policies and try to make them understandable to people who maybe have had a standard education, sixth grade education, eighth grade education. And that's challenging. It's difficult to do. It's difficult to take a healthcare policy or a retirement policy and make sure that people can understand that. And so we talk a lot about plain language and trying to make things as plain and understandable as they can be for the citizens.
Liz, there's a phrase that is often bandied about, and I've never found a really good definition for it, and that is knowledge management. So as a technical communicator, how would you define knowledge management?
In its simplest term, Richard, the way I've always defined it is how we manage what an organization knows. So it's documentation, it's content, it's explicit knowledge, it's tacit knowledge, which is all the knowledge that employees have in their heads. How do we manage that? That's what knowledge management is.
So how do you capture that tacit knowledge, and how do you make sure that the organization has a memory of that tacit knowledge when people move on?
I'll give just a simple example. I like to keep things simple and maybe give a person a takeaway that they can take away from our talk today. I like to just call it subject matter expert interviews. And so it's sitting down with a subject matter expert and asking them to explain their day or having them walk through what they're doing. So sometimes people are hesitant to stop what they're doing and write things down. That just might not be what they love to do. It might not be their strength. There's so much information they may not know where to start into documenting what they're doing. Like the example with a person who it's the only person in the organization who remembers how to work the software. They may not even really know how to take that information out and put it on paper or put it, in an electronic file. So start with a subject matter expert interview. Have someone sit down with them and say, okay, how do you start your day? Okay, how do you do this? Kind of walk me through this. And that person, a technical communicator, usually, hopefully, is the interviewer, and they're capturing all that tacit knowledge. I think that's a great way to do it.
Does your team work remotely?
Yes, we are remote right now. So I'm in my home office this morning talking to you. My team is remote for the foreseeable future. I think it's a great time to be a technical communicator. I mean, if you had talked to me 10 years ago, I would have said it's a great time to be a technical communicator because I love the field so much and I'm very passionate about it. But now, yes, I think if you do not want to go back into an office for the rest of your career, I think that's a very real possibility, and you will be able to work. You can be a digital nomad. You can work from wherever. I think that's really going to be for technical communicators the norm. We don't necessarily have to be in the office if we don't want to. We can do things like this, virtual meetings. We can get all of our work done without being in the office.
With this nomadic lifestyle, with technical communicators being able to be based at home, find their dream location, do you need to have much technical understanding of the things you're writing about to be a high-quality technical communicator? I mean, what's the balance between understanding the product, understanding, say, the legislation, and the ability to write clean and precise sort of words on the page?
The long-time dilemma of the technical communicator. My philosophy is that you do have to have a fundamental understanding. I find it very difficult to write if I haven't had some kind of introduction to the policy or to the product that I am trying to write about. As technical communicators, we do rely heavily on subject matter experts, but I have always found that I have to have something to start writing. So I need a demo of the product, or I need to read through the policy. And that's what I used to do. I used to read through the Federal Register and figure out what is this policy about, and then try to write about it and train people on it.
And was that an easy role? reading
No,
through?
it wasn't. It wasn't. It was challenging. It was challenging, but we did really good work there, and I think that's really what has led to the culmination of me receiving the Service to the Citizen Award is that I've really done a lot of that throughout my career, translating that complex information and making it accessible to people.
I know you're deeply involved with the society and you're a great supporter of it. I understand talking to others that it's a real community, that if you're a member of the society, your people will reach out to you, ask for your help, ask for your input. Is this something that you think is particular because of the nature of what you all do? Or do you think it's something that's common among societies of professionals in the US?
I don't think it's common. I think it's unique to our organization because I think we are often in an industry where people don't always recognize our value as technical communicators or really understand what we do or take a look at the budget and say, okay, we don't need these two people because I'm not really sure what they're doing. And so it really makes you seek out and find other people who are in that same situation. And it makes you come together as a community, I think, a lot quicker than other communities, other professional organizations, because we're really trying to help each other explain the value of the content that we develop and kind of our place and our rightful place in the organization.
So how do you see technology affecting the role?
Technology, I'm not fearful of it because it's like the Wizard of Oz. When you look behind the curtain, there's a technical writer behind it. So I've been involved in quite a few chatbot projects. And the thing about chatbots is they have to consume the content from somewhere. They have to get the information from somewhere. And so there's a technical communicator or content developer behind the curtain to get content into the chatbot. So I think with artificial intelligence, AI, there's always going to be a group of people who are feeding content into the artificial intelligence. And yes, it should be able to learn at that point and maybe do things that we haven't even, expected as far as assimilating the content together. But we have to feed it into the machine, so to speak.
I think it's only in about the last 3 years I've seen the phrase fake news keep appearing.
Mm-hmm.
So as technical communicators, do you ever have to deal with fake news about the product or the organization you work with, or is that another part? Is that the PR? Is that the communications team? Yeah, what is the relationship between fake news and technical communicators, if indeed there is one?
I think there is a relationship. I think as technical communicators, we do face ethical dilemmas in looking at things or having teams say, hey, this is what we need to say about this product. And as a user of the product or someone who's working with the prototype maybe or has seen the demonstration of the product, we know that maybe that's not quite the way it works, or we wouldn't choose to explain it that way. So I do think we face ethical dilemmas and we have to make decisions for how we want to react to that, and how I react and how another technical communicator reacts to that. I can't control that. But I think as a community, we try to act in an ethical manner and speak up when we do think that there is fake news happening.
There's a very fine line, isn't there, between being enthusiastic about your product and then overselling the product with a level of false hope. So you're exactly the guardian of that transaction that makes sure that what I read on the page is fair and reasonable.
Vetted, and it really can stand up to scrutiny.
So within an organization, where do you sort of report into the C-suite?
I've seen us aligned with human resources or operations. I think that's still kind of what I'm seeing today. There isn't a chief writing officer, but darn it, there should be. There should be a chief writing officer. I would happily step up to be the first chief writing officer of an organization. But whatever kind of, like if there's a communications, HR, talent development, sometimes training, it's usually operations, kind of follows that stream of the organization.
Bearing in mind that someone can't have an aspiration to become a chief writing officer at the moment, what advice would you give to somebody who was thinking about a career choice? How would you convince a young graduate they ought to think about becoming a technical communicator for a career?
It's a diverse day-to-day as a technical communicator, and that's what I've always enjoyed about it. So if you like coming in and signing into work in the morning, and you get to work on different things and contribute thoughts and ideas and writing and maybe graphics and images and web content. If those are the things that you like to do, then, definitely would welcome you into the field of technical communication. It's definitely a community. You'll find support there and get to work on a lot of different things, a lot of cool things.
Interesting. So for someone who isn't a technical communicator, what sort of 3 tips would you give me for me to improve my writing for clarity?
Edit your work, number 1. So take some time to read through it before you submit it or send it. We email a lot, right? A lot of email communication these days. So read it before you send it. Use the tools that you have at your disposal. So spell check and grammar check are things that are very helpful. So don't be shy about using those. Ask for help. There's a lot of people who are happy to look at a piece of writing to see if it needs some love and attention. So ask for help.
Thank you. Yeah, three fairly basic things, but things that we probably overlook all the time. And one final question. Looking back, based on what you know now, what do you wish you had known when you started in the profession as a technical communicator?
I didn't know that position could open up in the way that it did to other positions that I've held. I just didn't know that it would open a lot of doors and that my writing could be used for good in so many different ways.
Liz, it's been great talking to you. Before we finish, though, is there anything you would like to say about the society? How do people become members? Is it easy to become a member? Are there different grades of membership?
It is easy to become a member. People who are interested can go to stc.org, and there are levels of membership. So we really try to meet people where they're at from a financial perspective and where they're at in their career. So easy to join. We'd love to have you. We have events happening every month that if you want to dip your toe in the water, so to speak, and you want to kind of try us on for size, you can kind of do that without the full commitment of a membership. So I just encourage people to come check us out, poke around the website, and people are always welcome to reach out to me. You can find me on all the usual places like LinkedIn, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Liz, thank you very, very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. I enjoyed our talk today. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. We're always keen to hear your feedback and suggestions for future episodes. You can find all the information in the show notes below. Please visit apmg-international.com to find out more about our accredited training and the certifications that support them that are related to the topics discussed in this series. I hope you've enjoyed today, and I look forward to you joining future episodes while we continue our exploration into best practice and the benefits it brings to global business. Thank you.